Hi, guys, and welcome to Frank Fridays. I am your co host, Ellie Hayworth, the founder of Hayworth, and I am joined today by Carlina Moeller, our founder of Art Frankly.
Hey, everyone.
And we're really excited because we have Graham Wilson, the founder of Swivel Gallery, here with us today. Hi, Graham. How are you?
Hello. Thanks for having me.
Of course, we're quite excited. So, Graham, I'm going to go ahead and just kick us off with the first kind of question here. And so, tell us a little bit more about what keeps driving you forward in this art world.
When I was a young man, I had whatever you want to say, same things that everybody goes through or not. But and really, art was such a pivotal thing that helped change my life in a big way. And so I feel like that is really give that, pass that on to other people, whether it's like collecting art or being an artist or working in the art world or any of those facets. That's really what keeps me going forward, and the ability to change people's lives, whether it's artists or collectors. I really am a firm believer in that. And it's like something that sounds, very cliche in a way, but it's true. And I think it happens for a lot of people that way. And that's why people sort of stick around, and so that's my big driving force. It wakes me up at 4:30 every day. So
Well, and I think as someone who knows the gallery, Swivel Gallery, well, I think that's actually, it comes through very authentically in terms of your program, considering kind of the personal relationships you have with the artists, as well as the very personal relationships those artists have with their artistic practices. So I think that's that's a great reason to keep driving you forward in this art world. What is one of the challenges that you welcome in your day-to-day life as the founder of Swivel?
my program typically gives people their first exhibitions ever, so that is a challenge. It's not really coattailing on the back of some other successful venture or something. It's really something that you have to be dedicated to and build, not only strategically with the artists, with collectors. It's like a most multifaceted challenge, that requires a lot of creative thought to it in order to make it successful. And so that is really my biggest challenge. And my program is also mostly based on either solo or two-person exhibitions by these artists. So it's definitely a gamble every, it takes time for people to catch on to art, to catch on to artists and stuff. It's a long process. So I think it definitely has trying days for me, but it is a good thing.
Well, and I think it kind of segues on the answer to your first question, which is that you're doing it for the people and you're doing it for the community you've built. So,
Graham, providing that platform is so crucial for the artists and for their careers. So I thank you for doing that hard work on behalf of them. So that brings us to our next question, which is, which living artist do you most admire and why?
I went with Astor Gates. His work has always been so ambitious, and I really love ambitious artwork. And not only that, it's so conceptually sound. And then not only those things, but then the way that he also then has used his art and has also conceptually tethered his other endeavors with the Rebuild Foundation and all of the things that he does outside of the studio as well for Chicago and stuff. So as when you're an artist of that stature, I think your life is so is kind of hell, but so then to make the time to do these other things is also super admirable.
Absolutely. That's a great answer and interesting artwork that the Astor is doing constantly. So that brings me to my next question, which is, if you were to die and come back as an artist or a work of art, who or which would you be?
when I was an artist, or like when I really thought like, wow, I could like be in the arts, like, or I could be, I come from like a very blue collar background and whatnot. So like, for a long time, even when I was learning about art and stuff, I was like, oh, that's not really for me. But then when I came across the story of Caravaggio, that was when I was like, oh, like art is for me, because he was just so rugged, and he was nuts, and he just like, yeah, I don't know who he would be today. It's hard to like say, like, I guess he would be in jail today, but with technology. But anyway, so, and just like the attitude of Caravaggio, and like, how he was on the run, and like he was making these like insane artworks like in Malta, like under this kind of precedence. And so then I guess I would be Caravaggio, and if I came back as a painting, I would be his self-portrait where he cuts off his own head, and the David with the Goliath, and he's like holding his own head. To me, that's
that is
also
quite the answer, but I love it.
to me, that's also probably the first conceptual artwork like that was made.
That's great. That's an amazing answer. So Graham, I'll round us out with our final question, which is, if money were no object, what artwork would you acquire and why?
I think that if money were no object, I would probably acquire the Rothko Chapel, and I would probably live in there.
That would not be a bad place.
It's just heavenly enough, and also gloomy enough to like very much fit my demeanor, so.
Well, I think this has been a lot of fun, and it's great. And I know that you have quite a bit on your hands. So maybe before we conclude this interview, just tell us a little bit about what's to expect from Swivel Gallery this week, and maybe what comes ahead.
Yeah, we're doing a solo presentation. It's of this incredible artist, Walter Cruz, who just finished his thesis, or his MFA at MICA in Baltimore, but he's originally from the Bronx. And the booth has video and his sculptural painting, which are just totally insane. And yeah, it's gonna be a thriller booth. So if you miss the booth, just make sure you look up the name Walter Cruz and email me. Thanks.
I love it. Well, I think that is a great parting note, and I know you have quite a bit to get back to, so we will let you go. But thank you so much for taking the time today, and it's been fun chatting.
Okay, thank you all. I appreciate it.